Good afternoon. Welcome to Forum 360, where I'm your host, Leia Love, and we have a global outlook from a local view. Today we have a special guest, Miss Yvette Lloyd, and she is the founder of Fadia, which is an organization for young girls, a mentoring organization.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So today we're going to talk about breaking cycles and turning your pain into power. All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started the organization in a basement of my home back in June of 2012. What inspired me to do it was the death of my grandmother. And she was going to basically do the organization with me. And then my mom gave me this house. So she just have it in your basement. So it just started from there, of different friends having little sisters already, and they already had friends themselves. And then the girls just started coming after that, and I've just been doing it ever since.
What's your ultimate goal, your mission with it?
My ultimate goal is for young girls to gain a lot of personal development. It's a lot of things that we go through as women and young women when a lot of people don't tell us things about sex education. A lot of them don't prepare us for adulthood, and a lot of us carry negative cycles from our family history, not even knowing that those negative cycles are there, and we could gain and show them new cycles of things that they can do and go forward in life, and they don't have to be the product of their environment.
So where did you get the name from?
Me and my best friend, we were looking up names. We originally was going to do a program together, but she was like, I don't think I could be too committed like you would want me to. So loved her honesty, but we was just looking up girl names, and then I just saw Fadia, and I saw that it means protect others and community of a person sacrificing their life to help others. So after a while of me having it all on social media, I noticed a lot of people with the name Fadia was mainly Arabic. So they always inboxed me. It was like, what made you name this? This is wonderful. So I knew the name meant something. So from then on, I just carried it.
Awesome. I love that name and the meaning behind it. So what are some of the different programming that you do within the organization?
Like I said before, personal development. We do a lot of college prep, go visit colleges, and we do a lot of job readiness. With the job readiness, we do a lot of volunteering hours, and we teach them how to fill out applications. And when we do that, I also have a daycare center where they volunteer at the daycare, or when they graduate and they go to college, they work at the daycare in their summers.
So when they go to college and graduate, are they still members of the program, or do you guys kind of release them out and onto their own, or do you guys have a follow-up to still keep them engaged?
We keep in contact with them. Some of them still come to our group sessions. Some of them they will work and volunteer between that and my daycare. So we keep in contact a lot. We have a group chat that we usually communicate.
Okay. I know a lot of times with the programs, when they end at a certain age or at a cutoff,
yeah,
they get kind of this transition period where they get a little bit lost. So it's good that you still have that opening for them to be able to come back
yes,
with.
Definitely.
So what have you seen as, I guess, their biggest challenge, being a product of their environment or the different environments that you have seen them come from?
A lot of them really don't believe in themselves, have a lack of confidence. A lot of them are suicidal, and it really doesn't even matter if you come from in a poverty area or in a middle class or high class. All of these children have the same issues, or they could gain something from the issues from the other children. But mainly it's they don't love themselves, and they lack love in the household and love and communication. It's kind of crazy because this is my first year having young girls I have 10 of them, their fathers have custody of them. instead of mothers. So a lot of mothers are losing custody of their children now, and fathers are gaining custody now. So it's kind of reversing in a sense too. And a lot of them lose their families due to death, domestic violence, drugs, different things of that nature. It's just kids aren't in a kid's place. They can't be children at their age. We got children wanting to be adults and do adult things now and want to take care of a household as though they are an adult.
So how do you reach somebody who's dealing with low self-esteem or suicidal thoughts? Like, what does that look like from an interactive or a day-to-day interaction?
It's kind of hectic, getting them in a place where they need to be. But what I have is when they come to our group sessions, it's a home setting. So it makes them feel comfortable. And the girls that are in the program already, they make other girls feel comfortable. We don't have the concept of mean girls. We have them all loving each other. So I automatically tell them, make other girls feel welcome when they come here. Don't laugh at them. Don't make them feel out of place. So that's already the first key. And then sometimes the girls are like, wait a minute, they're too nice to me. How do I react to this? So the girls continue to talk to them, even though if they don't feel comfortable yet. I usually give a girl about a month to really open up. And after that, that's when they share each other's stories and personal lives, and they realize that they aren't the only ones going through it, or they see someone going through something way more than what they're feeling at the moment. And we do a lot of, I do a lot of self-help, as far as I do a mock funeral of a girl that committed suicide. So when I do those mock funerals, they see like, wait, I don't even want to be in this position. I can't do this. So I do a lot of reality checks with them, and it makes their mind transition into something really positive.
I think that is amazing, because I guess sometimes people think that they can't handle stuff like that. But even just the peer-to-peer actions are even more impactful, or just impactful than me or you talking to them, because they're like, you don't understand, you're not going through it right now.
Yes.
So I think that's what you're saying, is that works out much better.
Yes, it does. It works out a lot better, because, you got a lot of kids are mean these days. It's kind of different. So when they used to meanness, when they come to there where they see where they're safe at, they could talk, and we are very disclosed of information that is being shared, and they know that I have an order of protection, like I protect them, and they know I'm not just going to let anyone come in and do whatever. It's like they just free when they there. Even when we have slumber parties, it's like they're free, and they could be themselves, but I see the growth in each and every girl every time they come in, and I just usually give them like a month for them to actually get adjusted. And I just always show them with love. I don't go in, like, even if I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to show it to them and like treat them differently just because I'm having a bad day. I still love them and care for them and make them still feel welcome. And they also do it to each other and to me also.
Now, tell me, how many girls do you currently have in the program?
I have 35 right now.
35
that
right
are
now.
Currently in the program.
And how often do you get your new group?
Right now, I used to do sign-ups every year for registration, but with me being connected with juvenile courts, they usually refer girls to me to prevent them from going on probation. Or I just get my girls, I have these little flyers, and it's amazing because they see other girls that need it at school or girls that they know, and they be like, here, you should come to this group. I believe you will really like it. And they just be bringing girls. So I just stopped doing registration because the word of mouth from them, they bring in girls themselves when they see that they need help.
And is it free to the young ladies?
It's $100 a year
Okay.
for them to be in a program.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so tell me this. I believe you also said that you talk about financial literacy with them. What was your upbringing with financial literacy? You know, what were you taught and what do you teach them that's different or that you found works better for them than what you may have had?
Mainly reality check. My mom gave us chores and we get allowance. And from that, when she did our bills, she always had like a notebook and showed us different bills that she had paid. And usually the bills never amounted to what she was making. So that was just mainly a reality check. So I do the same thing with the girls of giving them a reality check, and we have like fake money, and I have them pay for the food that I'm giving them, and they be like, I'm running out of money. But it helps a lot from them actually seeing the things that their parents go through when they're asking for these new Jordans is coming out or all these expensive things, and they just wanting. So it helps them a lot, and it prepares them when they get a job, they can save money. And I did to a point like certain girls will make $9.25 an hour. I did a whole layout on if they start working in the 9th grade, how much they will have when they graduate high school. And some of them, they could have $35,000 from working from the 9th grade to their senior year. And some of them go by it, some of them don't, or some of them catch on later. But it varies. I have a few girls, they just graduated high school this past year, and they went to the car lot. They have a brand new car, Honda, straight out the car lot, 2019, and I'm like, that is amazing. And to start building their credit already. So it's really good to show them that, because they understand the lifestyle they will have as long as they take care of their responsibilities and buy the things that they need and not what they want.
I had some girls in my salon that were interning, and just going over with them, like you said, this is what you could save in this amount, this is what you're spending right now, here and there, and they just don't understand and realize. And the one, she says, well, why aren't they teaching me this at school? And I was like, I don't know, but they should have some more financial literacy programs, I think, in the schools. Coming out of high school, and they have no idea, and they get preyed on in college by all these credit card companies and loan companies. So that's good that they get that head start. And if you're just tuning in, we are talking to Yvette Lloyd, who is the founder of Fadia mentoring program for young girls. And we are talking about breaking cycles and turning your pain into power. Now, going back into turning your pain into power, what was your biggest pain that you did turn into power that basically triggered and set all of this into motion?
My biggest pain was, of course, losing my grandmother, and also just dealing with like families and friends. Is just to a point, you know, my mom raised me out of love and caring for people, being honest and being nurturing, like different things like that. And for me, just being around people and I see certain evilness that they carry, and some of them can't even help that they're that way. It's just from the cycle of their family. Everyone carry that on and on. But for me, just dealing with so much betrayal and everything, it's like, instead of me laying around and feeling depressed and wanting to commit suicide, even though I had those thoughts before, but instead of me doing that, I turned it into power and create it into something successful for myself. And me making other people happy and me making myself happy by helping people, that's what made my pain get turned into my power.
Okay, awesome. Ooh, that was you know, it's just interesting because a lot of times people, they just don't know how to cope with things like that happen to them. And we were just talking about just this rise of mental health issues and how can we help people cope with these things that are going to happen. You know, nobody's going to escape from anything that's going to give them a setback. But how can you deal with that and cope with that? And then how do you teach that to children? You know, what would you tell moms who maybe may not be able to afford to send their girls into your program? How would you be able to tell them to help their young girls to cope with things like that?
I usually see if people would like to donate to have the young girl join it. And I also have like payment plans where they could pay like $10 or $20 a month just so it can be the 100 a year. I just created to be affordable for them because my whole objective is to have the girl in the program and help her financially. It'll come.
Yeah.
And that's how I view it. Like, it'll come sooner or later. I just want to help this young lady to save her life and make her feel better as an individual.
Now, what resources does the organization currently need if somebody would like to donate or help?
Right now, I fund the program out of pocket. I haven't received grants or anything. So my daycare center really donates to the program. But people are more than welcome to go onto our website, FadiaYoungWomen'sProgram.com, and you could donate anytime, or you could purchase a shirt, anything of that nature, or even just coming into the program and speak to the girls. I would love that too, because it's good for them to hear other people's personal experience or experience as far as their occupation. So it's good for them to hear a lot of that. Or even I'm currently right now seeking board members to be on my program because I'm really operating it by myself, and I need some form of structure of strong individuals that can help me build it even more than what it is.
I was just about to ask you if you had a board or if you were in a need for it.
Yes, I am.
Is there any expertise that you need from the board?
I just really, mainly like in a marketing phase or having connections with people so we can obtain grant funding and they can attend events and things of that nature, because I can do it, but it's like I'm so all over the place and I'll be trying to have it together. But I just need some strong, passionate people that's willing and to help these young girls excel in life.
Just get them that exposure.
Yes, it's all about them.
It's all about And you know what? It can be tough when you are running an organization and you have the vision, but sometimes it's hard to convey that to everybody else to get them on track. So I totally understand how that goes.
Well, most people, when they do, they know me quite well. So it's like when they know me, it's like, oh, okay, we understand that. Or even when they meet the girls, you can't help but to love them or fall in love with them. And then you'll understand why I just sacrifice everything just to make sure they okay.
Good. That's what you need in your leadership. Speaking of leadership, what has been your biggest lesson as being a leader of these young girls and of your organization?
I really don't have a big lesson in a sense, but...
Or have you learned about yourself as a leader?
Do I what?
I said, or what have you learned about yourself as a leader?
Patience. Patience, and it's just a lot. I just really patience, and I'm always careful of what I'm doing. I don't like to contradict myself when I'm with these girls. They watch everything I do, like literally. Like they watch everything. So I've always made sure I mean what I say and I say what I mean. So I never want to contradict myself. And if I'm going through things or something like really personal, I communicate with them as well. And they be there for me just as much as I be there for them. We have like an open relationship.
Good. Well, speaking of, and going back to the parents, are they heavily involved in the program, or do you find that they keep a hands-off role? How do the parents play a part in this?
It varies. I have some parents that are involved. I have some parents that are concerned. Some parents I never met before, and their kid just come all the time. Or some parents I help support them in anything that they do. So I have a variety of them.
Okay. All right. How can people find out more information about the organization?
They could go on to the website.
And what's the website?
Fadia, Fadia, youngwomensprogram.com.
Okay.
Or they're more than welcome to call me at 330-701-4741. Or they can email me at fadiagirlsrock@gmail.com.
Okay. And where is the location that the girls usually go to?
The location is 847 Cross Street.
Okay.
We're located inside of the Oasis Akron building. And you can also get to it off Exchange Street near University of Akron.
Okay. So what does power mean to you?
Power means a person that's willing to succeed and go through things in life, but they still have the power to keep going forward.
So what do you think for you? What do you plan to do with your power?
I plan on building my own community center. That's my main goal. I want a community center for young girls and young boys to come into and just explore different things and prepare them so much for life so that they'll be ready for it. And also have a elementary charter school and also have my daycare center in there as well. I just want a whole community that's just to help families succeed in life.
Now, not a lot of people tend towards education and helping and giving back. What would you tell somebody to help them understand why it's important?
That's where your blessings come from. Even though it's sometimes people may not accept you giving, or when you give, they still hurt you while you're giving, you still supposed to give regardless on how that person made you feel, either in a negative or a positive way, because it'll block their blessings before they block yours. As long as you continue to give and do what you're supposed to do that God has assigned you for, you will continue to reap what you sow.
And how big of a part does your faith play?
A huge part. My faith has gotten me in so many places, brought so many emotions. But with the faith is storms. When you have storms, people don't understand. At first, I used to feel myself going crazy each time I had a storm. But when you relax during a storm, you'll be able to see what God is trying to tell you and direct you to. And you have to understand you're going into a new level of life of where He wants you to be. And each time that storm comes, you have to be ready for the blessing that's to come after it.
Awesome. I love it. So we can get to know you a little bit more on the personal side. What are some of your favorite books?
My favorite books? Oh my gosh. I really don't have a favorite book in a sense. I really don't.
Okay.
I don't.
What do you do for your hobbies?
For my hobbies, I usually, I just started working back out, but my hobbies is mainly working out, and I have a podcast for older women where I help them, or they share
Tell me more
their
about your
stories.
podcast.
My podcast is called Life Her Podcast. In the podcast, I have interviewed many women that has been through different trials and tribulations. And a lot of women, as older adults, we think we're the only ones going through something or been through something. Even though a lot of women see us successful as we are, they still believe that we're okay and everything is fine. But I've created a platform for women to know that we've all been through and gone through, and we got through a lot of things. So that's where my Life Her podcast comes in at.
And when does that air, release?
I'm having a launch reveal in January 25th at Trailhead.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, if you could leave people with one thing to remember about the organization and a piece of empowerment, what would that be?
It's authentic. I've put a lot of love into it and passion. So that's what.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Breaking Cycles, Turning Your Pain into Power. We had Yvette Lloyd with us today, and we will continue to see you here every week or every other week at Forum 360, where we have a global outlook from a local view. I'm your host, Leia Love. Bye-bye.
Forum 360 is brought to you by John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, the Akron Community Foundation, Hudson Community Television, the Rubber City Radio Group, Shaw Jewish Community Center of Akron, Blue Green, Electric Impulse Communications, and Forum 360 supporters.